It's not necessary that you have to go right after college. You can go after working for a couple of years or doing research or something after undergrad. So especially if you're applying for masters that are very course heavy, then the programs often focus on CGPA because the application committee thinks that it's a good reflection of how well you can learn and understand courses.
Hello everyone, welcome to iC2C's podcast series. And today we are again with Ms. Soundarya Krishnan. She had done a previous video with us sharing her experience of Microsoft and Uber. And in this video we will be going to discuss about that she is also selected in CMU for Masters in Machine Learning at Pittsburgh, USA. So we will be discussing about why should someone go for Masters and when did Soundarya decided to go for Masters and how to prepare, and she will also share some resources to prepare for you guys. So moving forward, hi Soundarya, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also good. So let's start with the interview. If you want to tell someone like why should they go for masters, what would it be?
So, personally, I opted to go for a master's because I wanted to increase my knowledge in a field that I was interested in, which is machine learning. I wanted to learn more about this and developed some specialized skills that I couldn't in my undergrad because it was a more general program. So, in general, if you want to switch to switch to a stream that you prefer, or if you want to learn more about a particular stream, then it might be a good idea to do a master's to develop those skills so that you could get the kind of career path that you want.
That's good. And Soundarya, when did you decided to go for masters? Like in college or after your college?
So, okay, good question. So throughout college, from like talking to my seniors and listening to their experiences with their jobs and listening to some of my seniors' experiences doing a master's and so on, I kind of realized earlier on itself that I eventually wanted to do a master's for the experience and for the learnings, but I wasn't sure exactly when to do that. So until recently, I was very confused about opting for a job versus going for higher studies. But I just decided to go along for a master's because I got an offer that I was very happy and excited about. So in general, I think um, if you think that at any point of time in the future you might want to go for higher studies, it's always better to keep that option open. So it's not necessary that you have to go right after college. You can go after working for a couple of years or doing research or something after undergrad. So it's not a given that you have to go immediately. And in fact, most people do take some time off after their undergrads and then go for higher studies if they want to.
Okay, that's great. And if someone wants to prepare for masters, how should they prepare?
So if you are interested in going for higher studies, then there are some things that you need to prepare for in advance, some things that you have to do long term, and some things that you have to do on a more short term right before you apply in order to have a complete application. So yeah.
Okay. So if someone wants to start preparation from their college only, then what they should do?
Right. So, like the long term preparation that you kind of need to do, there's different aspects to it. The first aspect that most of you might have heard of is CGPA. So CGPA, there's no specific number cut off. So, like for example, if you have above a 9, it's not necessary that you would get the masters of your choice. And at the same time, if you have a lower GPA, it's not necessary that you won't get a good master's program that you're happy with. And it's kind of like a flexible thing. It's not a specific cutoff, but in general, the more the better. So especially if you're applying for masters that are very course heavy, then the programs often focus on CGPA because the application committee thinks that it's a good reflection of how good how well you can learn and understand courses. So, for example, if you want to apply for a PhD instead, then CGPA becomes less of a criteria, and other criteria such as research experience, publications, and so on. They tend to take priority for a PhD admit. So one thing is that, uh, like I mentioned, the more the better. But if you do have a GPA on the kind of lower end of the spectrum, then you can compensate for it with some of the other things that people generally look for in a master's application, such as projects, publications, internships, as well as work experience. So, for example, someone could work or do a research assistantship for a couple of years and then apply for masters if they aren't happy with their GPA.
So, and Soundarya, you like which kind of internship and project one should go for?
Right. So in the long-term preparation, there's three kind of aspects that stand out most. The first is CGPA, which I just mentioned. The second is projects and publications, and the third is internships. So for projects and publications, again, the general idea is the more the better. But obviously, we have time constraints. We have specific interests and so on and so forth. So the tip that I would like to give is that you should aim to have deliverables for whatever projects you do. So, for example, if you're doing an informal with a professor or something of that sort, try to have some code that's pushed to GitHub, or like maybe a preprint or a paper if you can. I mean, yeah, it's much easier said than done, but these things, these concrete, tangible deliverables that you could get from a project are very useful to show the admissions committee that you are passionate about the field that you're interested in pursuing. Um, Also, try to be proactive and approach professors from an earlier point itself. So, try to figure out broadly what your research interests are. I mean, I know that's difficult, but um, one way to do that is by doing projects. So, if you can start early, then if you apply to professors and projects that are like kind of broad, then that'll help you kind of understand what you like and what you don't like. And a special thing is that if you have the option of going for a thesis, then I would suggest that you do, because um, you can if you get the opportunity to do a long-term research project, then it's likely that you could kind of develop a better rapport with the professor. You could do more concrete research work, and you can also maybe get like some publication out of it. So I would strongly suggest doing that. So yeah, in terms of applying to professors for these projects, shortlist a bunch of professors who are working in the area that you're interested in. Email them with what you've done so far, how it ties to what they work on, and what you want to do in the future. The third thing that is sort of of long term is a third thing that you could do is internships. So every summer after the first year, try to apply for internships. Same way by emailing professors, or with programs such as DART, MyTax, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's about it. Those are like kind of the long term preparations that you could do if you are interested in high studies.
Yeah, that's great. So, guys, in this video, we discussed about why should you go for masters, and when is the perfect time to decide to go for masters, and how to prepare, and what are the preparations that you can start from your college. And we are going to make another video on this, and in that video we will be going to discuss about what should someone do before applying, and what is the process of application, and what is the process after application. So stay tuned and make sure to subscribe the channel. And thank you, Soundarya, for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.